Go.
I hope this records mine now too, because I'm recording. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, fellas, what are you drinking today? Start with Joel Finkleman. What are you drinking today?
What am I drinking today? Bubbler.
What is that? A bubbler.
Yeah, this is like energy drink that isn't terrible for you.
It's water with caffeine. I've got a mini Mountain Dew can that I've already crushed. It's done. Filch, what are you drinking?
I've got coffee.
Black coffee. Yeah.
Black.
I've got coffee with French vanilla cream.
Oh.
Ooh, Pilch is getting fancy as he gets.
I feel like my name should be Stetson Bennett. I'm so like uppity with that coffee. My name is Stetson Bennett. I am I'm a butler for an upper class English royalty family who plays football.
Because you put some cream in that coffee, right? Now you're all fancy. Guys, welcome into the podcast. This is awesome. Brought to you by Ian's Pizza in Madison. And I just wanted to get the Rundown crew back together because for those who don't know, myself, John, Joel Finkleman, and Mike Pilch, we were part of a short-lived show on WTSO AM radio in Madison, Wisconsin. It was called The Rundown, and it was an hour-long show. Do you guys remember the lineup when The Rundown was in from 11 to noon? Do you remember what preceded it and what followed it? Because I don't at all.
Drew Olson and them were after us.
Oh, at noon?
Yeah. Yep. We would talk to Drew and KB. And then before us, I think it was
it national? Was it something national? Like something?
I think it was a national show. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't Patrick for a while?
It might have been DP.
Might have been.
Yeah. It might have been Dan Patrick. See, this is how my memory is faded and awful, and I don't remember anything. But it was a fun time. I think I left the show then, and then it was just you two dorks doing the show, which was good. But man, I had a lot of fun. What have you guys been up to since that time and since your time at iHeart? Because we all have something in common here. We've all been let go from iHeart.
We gone.
As has 90% of the people working there. So,
so what have you been up to, Pilch? You're in Ohio now.
I've been up to, well, I was in a pretty good spot at the time. And I've actually been learning data analytics the last year.
Ooh.
So like sports analytics and all that stuff that they do, I am learning how to do all that.
That seems right up your alley, by the way.
So I'm learning R and Python programming and SQL, and I've learned how to do like a 4-year course in a year. And I am finishing my case studies right now.
What are you going to be doing with that?
Data analytics.
New skill set. Is there something
data analytics and then maybe eventually work for a college or pro sports team, but data analytics primarily because you won't believe how much you get paid doing it. And it's a supply and demand issue. They're actually paying you to learn it right now, some places.
Wow.
So they'll pay like a full salary to learn it. So if you want to get into something, it's work and it's like going back to school, but that's what I've been doing. I have that podcast Pilch's Perspective, which I've also been putting on YouTube. I haven't pushed that hard because I'm doing this. And I think in order to push things hard, you got to really stay committed. You got to release it at the same time and do the same thing. And I'm going to do that. And then you got to really promote it and kind of get lucky too. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to work on that a lot harder once I get this going. I did it just to do it and keep myself in the loop and just to have fun and experiment with it. So those are the two things I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that because that's exactly why I'm doing this podcast. Because I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do this until I get into data analytics or something. Yeah. You know, I'm just going to keep doing this. And I do it. Everything you said, I've been trying to do consistently, push it out.
That's what you got to do. You got to do it every so often so your subscribers know when it's coming out, and you've got to push it on socials. And a lot of it's just, I've actually talked to a couple of YouTubers that get like hundreds of thousands of views. They're like, half of it's luck. You can have great content and you got to push it. Like I know some people that know how to advertise this stuff, but I'm just not really going to focus on it hard until, I get the real job going. So
Finkleman, what have you been up to since your iHeart days?
Well, it's funny that Pilch is bringing up data analytics as I am a grad student in healthcare informatics right now. So I am well-versed in Python and SQL and all that kind of stuff. Now, am I good at it? No. Python sucks. I'm just going to throw that out there.
There's no way you're going to be good at it if you're just learning it. You know how to do it and you can read it and you get it, but to sit and do it, it just takes a while.
Yeah. So I'm a grad student at UW. I actually work at the Carbone Cancer Center. I'm the next generation sequence coordinator. Basically, I just get a bunch of requests from doctors to run tumor testing, and I get to coordinate all of that. So full-time job, full-time grad student, full-time dad. That's kind of the gig,
Man, you guys, this podcast, I didn't expect the podcast to take this direction where you guys make me feel like crap because I'm just sitting upstairs watching Netflix.
Get into data, John. Get into data.
Yeah, but you're still getting paid by them, right? You're still getting your buyout?
That's done now.
Oh, okay.
Now. So I'm over here like, what do I want to do? Do I want to be on radio? Probably not. Do I want to do this? Pilch is like, I've got data analytics. Finkleman is like, I work at the UW Carbone Cancer Center. And I'm like, I sit upstairs and watch ESPN. I've been watching a lot more TV recently.
Hey man, in a lot of ways, I'm jealous.
But you got to call a national championship too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to go to Ohio, Pilch.
And how ironic was it that of all places you find ecstasy, it's in Columbus? It's so funny. I actually got invited to go to that.
You should have came. It was the best.
Diane said, I will get you my ticket. I just couldn't make it happen, especially since it's actually like a 2-hour, 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's going to be late. I was like, I better find a place to stay if I'm good. And it was kind of it was like the day before she mentioned it. And so it was like a last second thing. It just didn't work out. But I was that close to actually going.
Wow. It was great. It was a great atmosphere. 19,000 people watching that match in the arena, 1.2 million on ESPN2, a record for that. All sorts of records. It's just combined total differential between the two teams was 12 points. National championship, Big Ten foes. It was awesome. It was so cool. So yeah, I've been calling national championships. That's what I've been doing while you guys.
How nervous were you in the fifth set when they take a gigantic lead and you're just like, oh, it's a cakewalk. This is over.
I thought it was over. It's like 7-0.
Suddenly,
I know it's different when you're calling it, but I kind of thought it was over at that point.
I was watching it with some friends who don't know volleyball a ton, and I was like, 7-0. This is done. It's over. And it was like suddenly it was like, I don't know.
Guys, I'm standing up with my hands on my knees. This is how I called like the entire fifth set.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the Nebraska fans that had courtside seats behind me, but I have to stand up. I couldn't sit down. I could not sit down during the entire fifth set, but no, this is fun. So, okay. So you guys seem like you're having fun stuff going on.
I don't know about that.
I broke my hand. I broke my wrist.
Oh, what'd you do? Slip on the ice?
I did. I Charlie Browned it. I have like a 45-degree angle driveway, and I did like the two legs go out, and so.
Oh, God, that's just the worst because in this state, you're going to slip. Like it's going to happen. You may go a winter without slippage, which is fine, but eventually everyone. I tell my daughter this, like she just walks like there's no such thing as ice. I'm like, listen, you're gonna fall eventually, but you can't.
You'll find out one way.
Yeah, like you keep walking like that, you're gonna break your wrist, like my buddy Joel Finkleman.
This was one of those things too, where you're like, thank God nobody was outside watching me because both my feet went up. I landed square between my shoulder blades. I don't even know how my hand hit the ground, but good times. If you're curious, I broke my triquetrum, which is not the most common bone that breaks during a Fouche injury falling on outstretched hands. There, my kinesiology degree is back. What's up?
Is that a thing? Is Fouche injury a real thing?
Falling on outstretched hand. Yeah. Because usually it's your hamate bone that breaks because it only takes like 10 pounds of pressure to break that bone, but good times.
That seems like nothing. We're very fragile.
Yeah. You should know this volleyball injuries,
Apparently I should. Yeah. And I don't. I slipped in my garage 2 winters ago, and it was one of those things where this has happened twice to me. The last 2 times I've slipped, one was at Bankers Life Fieldhouse with wet shoes and someone had spilled like Gatorade on the carpeted area surrounding the court. And here comes me with my worn down soles on my shoes, walking through wet carpet, not knowing. And then I step on the court and I slip. And I slipped in my garage. And both times I'd be like, boom, got up. I'm good. Like nothing. I was like, I don't know how I did it. I've died.
See, I got up and I was like shaking because it was a hard impact. And so like, I was like, okay, I'm going inside. And I got inside, took my coat off. I'm all good. And then suddenly I was like, my hand really hurts.
Man, that stinks.
Good times.
That's awful. I hope that heals up
Well, thank you.
fairly
sir.
soon.
One thing I wanted to add, you know how the great players always make a mark, and the way Retke performed in that final set cemented her
Ooh.
status without question as a great player. Just want to add that. She
Yeah,
just took it over.
yeah, absolutely. I agree 1,000%, Pilch. It was awesome. I'm gonna miss Dana Redke. I can't believe I got to call Dana Redke for 5 years.
And
Just
Hilly, right?
dominating. What's that?
Hilly too, right? She was
Hilly,
there 5 years.
Hilly as well. Hilly and Redke, yeah, for 5 years. Like that's crazy. And they ended like the most perfect way you could ever end a college career.
I remember when I filled in for you, we were on the bus in New York City, and you know me, I start talking about random things, and I pointed like 3 or 4 things out in the city and a quick background, and Hilly was sitting behind me, and she just stares at me. She goes, "You're one of those people that just knows stuff, aren't you?" Like she was just staring at me like, how?
Wow. Just imagine if you had gone by some like baseball museum or something like that. She would have been like, how it's true. You are one of those people that just know
I
things.
just remember the look she gave me. She was like, you know, like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a smart girl. She was a very intelligent person.
Oh, she's very smart. She's going into cancer research, Joel Finkleman.
There
Hey,
you
she
go.
can join me.
It was
She'll be
was
working
really
with
funny.
Joel.
Yeah, it was really, she might be, honestly. It was really funny at the All-American banquet in Columbus. You know, she was a first teamer. They interviewed her a little bit, and they're like, "What are you doing after Wisconsin? Are you going to be playing volleyball?" She's like, "You know, I'm not sure. I'm going into cancer research and genetics and whatever." I forget exactly. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like the best setter in the country isn't even thinking about volleyball. She's just thinking about her career path.
She
And I
was
thought
one
it
of the
so-
few people that when she talked in a way where you could tell she was just intelligent. She was just like that.
for
Yeah.
sure. Unlike when you talk to
Right.
me on the podcast.
Or any
Okay.
of us. Yeah.
So guys, so here's what I was thinking. We do the podcast. I was thinking we do a rundown. We do like a mini version of the rundown. You know, I was trying to figure out all the segments we used to do. I don't remember them, honestly. So these are the 2 that we remember that we're going to do today. Okay. So without further ado, here we go. Let's start the rundown.
This is the Rundown with John Arias.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Your daily breakdown of Wisconsin sports.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Rogers does this better than anybody. End zone. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Now, here's your host of the Rundown, John Arias.
This is the rundown for, well, I don't want to say the date because it's a podcast.
Forever.
Arias, Joel Finkleman, Mike Pilch with you. What's that, Joel?
I said it's forever. It just lasts forever in the audio sphere.
Yeah. Welcome in to the rundown. Now, before we do it, I also have our alternate intro, another intro that we can play because I know Finkleman was looking for this all over. And guess what, Joel? I found the intro.
Welcome to the rundown.
This
man.
is the Rundown with Mike Pilch and Dr. J. Joel Finkleman.
Gonna dive in to the rundown. I'll be exhausted because it's like a triathlon.
Tweet the show at MD Pilch and at Joel Finkleman.
Hey, dude, you know what a rundown is?
Use it in a sentence.
This rundown for me.
Try another sentence.
Welcome in to the Rundown.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
What's up,
that's so
fellas? How do
good.
you like that, Joel?
That's
I'm
so
very
good.
impressed you found that because I looked for it a bit yesterday and it was not good.
Yeah, we all 3 of us have gone on like a mission the last couple of days of trying to find audio from the show. I couldn't find anything. It does not exist. It's been scrubbed from the world. So that's amazing. That's great.
I was Googling like rundown podcast,
Yeah.
WTSO, Mike Pilch, John Oddie. Like I couldn't.
I
find
actually went into the Internet Archive
Oh, you did.
and
Wayback
I
Machine?
actually found the podcasts, but the links to the podcast
Yeah.
wouldn't work.
Yep. That's what I ran into. Cause I was trying to find like one movie episode so we could get that. But I don't know. It just, yeah.
That's too bad. So we're going to play the movie game, the Rotten Tomatoes game that we ripped off from Adam Carolla. But first, this is the only segment I could think of that we used to do on the show. It's called I Know, But. And so I thought I'd kick things off. I've got, I just remembered another one. Didn't we have like rankings? Didn't we have like 3 things or something? Like there was like a top 3 or something. Wasn't it one of those segments?
We didn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. All right. So here's my first I know, but whoever wants to follow up can follow up.
Well, the other thing we did was the scroll through Twitter thing, kind of.
Oh, we did scroll through Twitter.
Yeah.
That was
we should have done that, Pilch. Maybe we still can.
I try to avoid
Aaron...
social media at all costs today. So
yeah, that's true. That's a good.
I mean, I tried to never go on it, but
that's a good move. I know Aaron Rodgers says his toe will be 100% healthy by the playoffs, but are we so sure, Dr. J, Mike Pilch, that an injured pinky toe just needs a couple of weeks off and is ready to go and it's had pain injections throughout the course of a season? Like, are we so sure that that's 100% healthy?
Okay. So here's the thing. I like where you're going with this, but I think you did it the wrong way. Let me take this to another level.
Okay. All right.
I know Aaron Rodgers says his pinky toe has been injured the entire season, but are we sure? I mean, like, seriously, he runs totally normal. His throws are fine. Like he sets, throws, fires, everything. I have noticed no difference whatsoever. Every once in a while, someone will step on his foot and he goes, like it's an episode of Family Guy over here. But I'm a truther. I'm a toe truther. I don't think it's real.
I definitely think it's real. Teams don't lie about things like that. No, I don't think it's going to be 100% healed, but it really hasn't mattered with the way he's played this year. So,
right. Yeah. That's funny. You go in conspiracy, Joel, as if like he's adding more things to his resume as why he should be MVP. Like, I did this, that, and that, and I was injured with my pinky toe.
See, it could be a resume builder. It could be like a bit of a distraction of like a smoke and mirrors game of like, hey, ignore all this other stuff that happened this year. Look over here. I'm injured. Don't worry about me lying to everybody. It's all good.
Good point. Yeah. All right. Who else has an I know but?
All right. I can go if you want. That's
sure. Yep.
I just made 3. And I just realized that they're basically all about the college football championship game, which is funny because you guys know me as the guy who doesn't like college sports all that much. So anyways, I did actually watch the game. So I'll go first. Let's see. Which one do I want to go with? Okay. I know crowd shots are cool, but can we talk about how awful the crowd shots were in that national championship game? Every single person that they showed was in some horrible golf polo, dressed up in some ridiculous suit. Like it's like the Southern team thing where it's like, you got to dress up like Bear Bryant. That's how you look cool. Or you're just like the kind of like poser doucher college bro in like the gross polo, the yacht shoes and, like the kind of shorts that are above the knees. And it's like, dude, this ain't it. Like I swear to God, they didn't show a single person in like a hoodie or jeans or anything. It's just like, I don't want to know any of these people.
That's funny because that is a Southern thing, right? Like where they get dressed up and there were polos and everything. They don't do that at Ohio State, right, Pilch?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Did you notice the crowd shots?
No.
Did you watch?
I didn't notice that. I just saw people in the crowd dressed up in gear for teams they root for.
See, I noticed these weird things. It's definitely like, it is definitely an Alabama thing.
Because people that go to Lambeau totally don't wear cheese on their head.
Well, no, that's like a team specific thing. This is just like wearing like doucher yacht bro clothes.
They're not dressed for a football game. They're dressed for like
like a soiree. Party. Yeah. That's what I don't
Well, Georgia's quarterback's named Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to something fancy.
It's what a name, by the way. I mean, I don't know what he turns into, but he'll always have that great name. And a head of hair that resembles mine at sometimes. So it's all good.
Bill, you got an I know, but if not, I can go.
Well, I know we all love the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
We do.
But now we're going to love a possible animated series that is coming to Netflix.
Oh,
I saw that.
Sex Bob-omb's warming up the guitars for possible comeback. Sex Bob-omb, or however they said it. The graphic novel series is again going to the screen as an anime series from Netflix. And it doesn't say when this is going to be, but sounds like it's a thing. I've actually read the comics, and I'm not a comic guy, so I actually read everything that was based on. It's fantastic. So we'll get more Scott Pilgrim in our life.
There we go. You know,
That's
I
good.
saw a Netflix series. I'm still watching it. That I thought when I was watching it, I thought Pilch would like this, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Daybreak. Have you heard of Daybreak?
No.
Have you heard of Daybreak, Finkleman?
I have not.
I think it's called Daybreak. Now I'm doubting myself. It's based, I think, on a graphic novel series about this kid in a post-apocalyptic just outside of Los Angeles. I forget the name of the city right now, but I don't know. And it reminded me of Scott Pilgrim, I guess my point is. And I was like, I bet you Pilch would love this show.
Post-apocalyptic reminded you of that. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, it's just the way
just
that
the way it looks visually, sort of.
No, the acting and the writing of it all. It's kind of weird and different. I thought you'd like it. I don't know. Check it out. All right, here's my next one. I know Kyrie Irving says there's no place in our game for it when describing Nasir Little, who dove for a loose ball, landed into Kyrie, made Kyrie land awkwardly. I know he says that, but does Kyrie Irving really want to outlaw hustling in the NBA?
Yes.
He said there's no place in our game for it for an opponent diving for a loose ball.
Yeah, no, that sounds very much on brand for Kyrie Irving. Like, let's see how little I can try. Like, you nailed it. He absolutely would love to outlaw like anything like that. I think all of the basketball players right now are just like, let's see how much minimal effort we can give in the regular season. And it obviously ramps up in the postseason, but no, that sounds extremely on brand and totally correct for Kyrie Irving.
This is one of the countless reasons I don't pay attention at all to the NBA till round 2 of the playoffs.
I actually talked to
And
somebody.
that sounds like something Kyrie Irving would say. I mean, he thinks the world's flat, so it sounds like something he would say.
No. That was a thought experiment. I don't know if you heard that, but he said it was a thought experiment to see how the masses would view it.
Well, maybe this is a thought experiment too, because that sounded so ridiculous. This is how I'm going to recreate when I saw it on Instagram. Can I see? I'm looking through my phone and I see like the quote from Kyrie, and then this is what I did. I go, what? Like I out loud like laughed. I laughed out loud because I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing.
LOL.
I LOL. I'm like, what is he talking about? He just wants to outlaw like diving for loose balls. Get out of here, you dork. All right. Finkleman, you got another one?
I do, and it's about the college championship game, sort of. Again, I don't know why I did this. I just like literally started typing up things, and then I just looked now and I was like, oh, okay. They're all about college football. All right, here we go. I know everyone thinks the best play when getting a late interception is to instantly go down, but are we sure? So Georgia picks the ball off with 1:04 left, up by 8. Kirby Smart, they showed this shot, is just screaming, get down, get down. And so is the rest of the bench. Dude just waltzes in for a touchdown, which absolutely ices the game. Like, even if he doesn't score there, he still takes a bunch of time off the clock getting down the field. There's 1:04 left. So if he goes down immediately, we'll just say there's a minute left in the game. Alabama has 3 timeouts. Georgia's going to go super conservative because that's what everybody does against Alabama. They're going to run 3 times, probably get stuffed and get the ball back with a chance to let the game get tied up. I mean, this is like the Morgan Burnett thing all over again. I literally watched that play and then tweeted out immediately, like, if only Morgan Burnett had done this, because if he had, the Packers would have gone to the Super Bowl that year. But no, Julius Peppers, get down. It's all good. No worries. Like, every once in a while, when you got the daylight in front of you, just go to, put 2 hands over the ball and go. Like, I just don't get it.
I'm curious as to what Pilch thinks about that play.
Oh, what's the analytics?
I would have probably told him to go down too, because I mean, that iced the game. Alabama wasn't going to win once he caught that ball. There wasn't enough time left if they run out the clock, but the player in front of him probably saw how much room he had and just natural instinct took over. It's like, even if I can't score, I'm going to get like 30 yards out of this and then go down, or, I'll see how far I can go. So the player saw how much space he had. And he's like, all right, if they get around me, I'll go down. If not, so it's just one of those things. I totally get why, as a coach, you coach people to go down in that situation. That's why the sideline was telling him, Morgan Burnett, there were 5 billion people all around him, so you were going to go down.
I got to watch
not
that
to go, and you're coached to go down.
How I
and
remember
1,200 people around him. So I probably on the field would have also told him to go down. because that's what you're coached to do.
I got to
I
look
know-
at the Morgan Burnett play again, but like I get it. I think there's obviously moments where like if you pick the ball off with 20 seconds left and they don't have a timeout, then just go down. Like I get it, but like they had 3 timeouts left and 1 minute and 4 seconds left. Like we've seen some crazy stuff in college football. Alabama's been on the other end of some crazy last minute stuff. You know, that Iron Bowl a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
he saw how much space he had. That's why.
Yeah, so it's just go. Like so,
Yeah.
I don't know. That just
I don't want to bring up the Morgan Burnett stuff too much, but I do have the still shot if you want to take a look at it. I just sent in the
I'm
chat.
afraid to touch something on this computer I'm recording on. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Morgan Burnett scores, but I mean,
He could have
That's just
scored.
a hindsight's 2020 thing to me. That's the way I kind of.
I don't know. I remember being pretty pissed in the moment.
Yeah. I remember thinking the Morgan Burnett stuff. Like, I don't know if he scores either, because I think the narrative is Burnett scores no matter what. And I don't know if that's the case. It's a tough one, because most of the time when you go down in that situation, your team's able to close things out. I know there was like 5 minutes left in that game though, so it could have been a different.
Well, the other thing
different-
too is there's 5 minutes left in the game. The Packers have a 12-point lead at that point. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't need to run it in for a touchdown. If he can run it in and get into field goal range, that's huge. That's a 15-point lead. But it's like he just went down immediately. The Packers, I'm pretty sure, went 3 and out, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and then we don't need to talk about the rest. Pilch, you got an I know but?
So I know a lot of people just naturally love animals and they think they're nice and fluffy, but they really like them
What?
in Maryland. Apparently, zebras on the run for months in Maryland have now been captured. They're just wild
Months?
animals
Months?
running around in Maryland somewhere. They had been running loose since escaping a Maryland farm about 4 months ago and were returned to the herd last week. Prince George County Animal Services and the Department of Agriculture weren't involved in the capture, but said it had been done. Officials said 40 zebras live in an Upper Marlboro farm and had been on the run for 4 months until they finally got them back. So,
I mean, it's not like they stand out or anything, Would have been really hard to find them.
Just living off the land or what? Like,
Yeah, just
being
wild
zebras?
yes, that's what I wondered. I don't know.
You think anything like came up to him like a bear and was just like, no.
Like, what the heck
like,
is
it's
this?
like I ain't messing with this.
That's funny, man.
That means
That's
there's
great.
random
They're just-
bears roaming around in Maryland.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
There's
what's the
always-
wildlife look like?
Like, you always, every once in a while, there's those stories of people like having exotic animals like lions or tigers, and they get free and they're like in Montana or something. I don't know. And they're just like running around neighborhoods. I'd rather have zebras, I guess, but that's
Well, yeah, I
weird.
mean, I remember being at the station one day and there was like a bunch of llamas out in Phoenix, Arizona, like in the streets. Do you remember
Yes, in the
that? It was
streets.
llamas,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or something. Yeah, it was a really good time. Yeah, like there was like a police chase through backyards of llamas. Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. Anybody else got any I know buts before we go to the movie game? Finkleman, I know you have one more college one. No, not worth it.
It's whatever.
Okay,
Well, we can
that's-
move on.
All right, let's move on to a staple that we used to do here on the rundown, and it is the movie game.
Wait, I can't hear it.
And now, your host of the movie game, Mike Pilch.
Oh, I can hear it. Wow.
I say
All right,
it kind of comes
so
in and out.
we call this top tomato. I should have brought the trophy.
Oh, okay.
I totally
You
should
have
have
it?
got the trophy. This is the Top Tomato movie game. It's our own spin on the old Adam Carolla show game. And we did kind of add our own flavor into it. But since this is the first time we're doing it for this podcast, we're just kind of rolling with it here. So,
And if I can say real quick, if you're listening to this podcast and you've either played the movie game in the past and you were a listener of the rundown, or if you've never played it before, what's fun is you should just grab a pencil and some paper, play along, and then post your score on the Twitter link when this episode is released. And you can tell us whether or not you beat us in the movie game.
Honor system.
Honor system, of course.
Packers, Tods, and Ends. We're looking at you.
Yeah. Oh, he's got it. All right. The
So
floor
what do
is
you got
yours.
for us?
all right. I obviously just kind of did this on a whim. I saw a movie from Todd Phillips the other night, so we're going to do the films of Todd
Wait.
Phillips.
Wait, hold up.
Apps, great idea.
Did we
Don't know
actually
who that
explain
is.
the rules? Did we explain the rules in any way whatsoever?
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
figure it out as we go.
Okay,
Finkleman.
real quick.
Yeah, explain
Real
the rules.
quick. Rotten Tomatoes has a score from 0 to 100. Every movie has a score. Pilch is going to say a movie. We're going to guess our score and then add up the total of however many movies he goes with. The highest score is the loser. You want the lowest score possible. If you hit a movie head on, you get -5 points. Those are the
Right.
rules.
So
I
it's a
remember.
different. So if you say, I think this movie's a 50 and it was a 70,
You get 20 points.
you get 20 points. And you want
Want
the
negative
least-
25.
Yeah, you want the least amount of points possible. All right. So Todd Phillips, I don't know who that is, but let's
I
go.
don't either.
All right, the first one we're going to do here, and I'm kind of doing this, I'm looking this up as I go. It's a film from 2000, kind of a buddy sex comedy. Bunch of guys take a road trip after they find that their friend accidentally emailed a sex tape to his girlfriend. He was doing it with some other girl. It is Road Trip from the year 2000. Who's in this? It's got Tom Green, who's a big deal off MTV at the time. Why he was ever a big deal is one of life's great mysteries, I think. Breckenmeyer, Sean William Scott, fresh off playing Stifler, Amy Smart, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Stifler and Tom Green. I remember this movie. It's a fun watch for the time.
Yes.
But I don't think it's a great movie. So I'm going to go this is the audience score or the critic score, sorry.
Yeah.
And Rotten's anything less than like 60, I think, right? Is that it? Or is it 50? Yeah. I don't remember. 60.
This is a 49.
Okay.
Oh. You think a movie with Stifler and Tom Green from 2000 it's a 49, man? That seems like a tough tale. I'm going much lower, but I'm not going to go like gut rot low. I don't want to ruin my score in one game or in one movie. I'm going with a 24.
Ooh, this is going to be.
I was thinking about going with like a 13. I mean, this could be incredibly low.
It's got its moments where it's fun. It's also got some gross out humor and some things that are just dumb in it. So I'll say a 52.
52.
Oh, that means I'm in last place.
And
are we keeping
Road Trip is rotten.
I've got it written down. I've got it written down.
Okay, I'll let you do it then.
Road Trip is rotten with a score of 57.
Well, I lose. It's over. You just pack it in.
That wasn't so bad.
57. This is why I hated playing the Rotten Tomatoes game, because it's just like I was fine putting it together because then I didn't have to play. But every time I played,
we know, comedies usually don't do as well. And the question is bad in terms of a 55 or bad in terms of a 25?
I guess I just assumed
you get those big differences. 57's almost fresh.
I was going to say, I just assumed that Stifler and Tom Green would give me a 25. Like I just kind of figured a 25 was generous, honestly.
This isn't Freddie Got Fingered. That movie's probably like a 7.
Well, let's do it next. No.
All right. So standings in last place, Finkleman. In second place, Arias. In first place, Pilch with a total of 5. I have 8. Or wait, do we do this after? Do I total it up?
I've got
after?
it all here. We do it after.
We do it after.
Okay, never mind. All right, here we go.
All right. Second movie is a sequel. Todd Phillips directed this to one of the most successful comedies of all time and funniest comedies of all time. It's the sequel to it, The Hangover Part 2.
All right, I'll go first because I think since John went first, we'll just go in that order, I guess. Obviously, sequels generally do worse, I guess, unless you're talking like Empire Strikes Back, and that's not what this movie is. It wasn't bad. I seem to remember The Hangover 2 being okay. I feel like it was like, was it the third one where things got real weird real quick? I don't even
remember the third one.
Was this the movie where the guy got his finger chopped off at the end? Is that 3? Okay.
I didn't see the second or third.
Shit. Oops. Am I allowed to say that? My bad.
I just have to mark explicit on the podcast.
Okay. Oh, dang it. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to say it's rotten, but I'm not going to say it's like insanely rotten. I'm going to go with a 44.
I'll go next because I think The Hangover, I think the first movie is going to help this second movie score a little bit. And the reason I think that is because you've got the cast, you've got the name, everybody was anticipating another Hangover movie. They were excited for it, but it's still not good. So I'll go 61. And what was your number again, Finkleman?
Say 44.
44. Okay. Built.
So I haven't seen it. I like the first one. It's a sequel to a comedy. That alone means it can't be very high. So I'm just going to throw out the number 45 as just a ballpark, not too terrible, not too incredibly goodish.
You $1 bobbed me over here. All right.
And let's see, The Hangover Part 2 is rotten with a score of 34.
Hey,
Wow.
Joel wins.
Wow.
So see, here's the thing, John. Everything that you just made as an argument for why the score would be higher is actually a score or reason for why it would be lower, because there was all these expectations, a good cast, good writing, all this stuff, or good writers, probably all this stuff, and it doesn't deliver, so it gets downgraded even more. Like, you gotta think about those things. Yeah,
That's a good point. That's a good point. Is this our final movie, or how many movies do we do in this game?
We can do as many as you want. I have 5 written down, so 3 more, but we can do as many as you want.
Oh, is 5 the standard number? I don't remember.
That's what we always did, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
keep going. Let's go 5.
All right, the next one I have written down here is a film redone from a 70s TV show with the frat pack involved, people like Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn and those guys who did some pretty fun movies. It is the 2004 film Starsky and Hutch.
Do it. Pilch, you're up first this time.
Oh man, I haven't even thought about any of these. This is the weird thing. When we did the game regularly, your brain was trained to think that way. Now it's been a while.
Yeah.
I actually thought this was entertaining. I actually thought Snoop Dogg was fantastic in it as Huggy Bear. I'm gonna actually say, since it had a little more substance, I'll give it a 64. I think it got fresh, but not by a lot.
John, that's you.
I remember this movie. I remember it not being what I wasn't very entertained by it. Starsky and Hutch. I'll go 54.
All right. Well, I am in last place currently, which means I got to start getting some low scores. So I think I have to go a little more aggressive. I never saw this movie. This is the movie with the Bacardi and Coke thing, right? Where he's like, do it.
Yeah,
Bacardi
I think
and Coke.
so.
Yeah.
That sounds, yeah.
I'm just going to go 44 again. I think that's my number. Feeling good about it. I don't have any reason because I didn't see it, but I don't remember anybody really talking about it like they really liked it.
I don't
All
remember
right.
Pilch's score. What'd you give it? 60?
I give it a 64, and Starsky
Okay.
and Hutch is, oh, baby.
Oh.
It is fresh with a score of 62.
Every time this game, I just feel like Pilch is pulling one over on us.
Well, I mean, he's literally looking up the movies, so I'm not saying he's cheating, but
I know you say you're not cheating.
yeah.
We guys can do it next time. I don't care.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right. The next one, this is the more slam dunk one, I thought. Don't know if you guys saw it. What year did that? Well, I don't know what year it came out, 19 or 20, 2020, I think. A little more serious, departure for a Todd Phillips film. Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar for it. Joker.
Oh no.
What is it?
The
Joker.
Joker.
I haven't watched the Joker yet.
Same. I don't think I'm ever going to.
Why not?
Joaquin Phoenix doesn't really do it for me. I'm going to be real. Except when he was in Signs. Then I was on board. Swing away, Jimmy.
Water kills aliens.
It's it's
How do we
John's
know
turn,
that?
isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, how do the aliens not figure that? I'm sorry, but like you don't send a recon team to like maybe figure out if
If there are these great beings that are watching us and smarter than us, how do they not know that?
What's I'm saying? I mean, you don't send like one guy to be like, hey, the planet is made of 73% blank. Maybe, oh, is that thing our greatest weakness ever? Like,
We
maybe
shouldn't go
that.
there. But I was always taught that water was a requirement for most life as we know it.
Most life, but this
Most
is
life, I guess, 'cause-
extraterrestrial life.
How do these aliens stay hydrated?
By the way, for the record, I'd like to say that the little girl from Signs, who has all the cups of water everywhere, she grew up to be my wife.
She leave cups of water everywhere.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Just cups. Some are finished, some aren't. It's the
My
best,
brother
man.
does that. Like when we've got a family get together, we'll get like LaCroix or bubbly or something, and he'll open one, drink half of it, and then he opens one 2 hours later, and you see the half full one somewhere. I'm like, what are you doing?
Just sitting there.
Yep.
Losing its carbonation. Okay, the Joker. I'm gonna go. Listen, Joaquin Phoenix. It was done, kind of shot in like I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It wasn't your typical corny superhero movies of 20 years ago, right? It's very serious tone. Kind
Yeah,
of.
it's a way different tone. Oh yeah, I thought you guys would have seen this. So
91.
okay,
Wow.
I
See, I
went
was gonna go-
92.
Okay, I was gonna say I was gonna go high because I had to, but I'm gonna go 83. But
All
because
right.
I was like, I still think the movie like is not like 90s is pretty amazing, like that's a good score.
All right,
Uh-oh.
so the film Joker.
Rotten with a score of 27.
Oh wow, is that right?
What?
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm looking. All right, Joker is fresh with a score of 68.
Joel wins.
Wow.
By the way, I've now won two of the 4 movies. I've been the closest, and I'm in last place.
What? 68?
See,
That
so
I
is-
thought
this is-
critics loved the Joker.
No, so like this
All right,
is
so
this is why I
real
didn't
quick,
go as
the
high.
critic scores is 68 and the audience score is an 88, and it says it gives its infamous central character a chillingly plausible origin story that serves as a brilliant showcase for its star and a dark whatever.
See, I remember like obviously it's like you got a bunch of big name actors. You got Joaquin Phoenix, but then you also got who was the guy? Oh my God, Robert De Niro. So like there are some big names of that movie, but like I never felt like the general vibe of that movie was, oh my God, what a masterpiece here. I just remember it's like, oh, Joaquin Phoenix is going crazy overboard because that's what he does. And yeah. And then I remember the gif of the guy falling down the stairs a million times. But yeah, I was gonna say, so that's why I wasn't thinking it like a 90 is like, it's really high. I don't
It
know if
is.
any.
I didn't like it as much as a lot of people did, but I enjoyed the different take and the dark look. I thought it would be a critical darling. I was wrong.
I'm trying to think of like what superhero movie has like the highest IMDb thing. I wonder if like maybe it's like The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
would
Dark
probably-
Knight's got to be way up there.
And that's got to be something in the 90s. But yeah, I mean, it's like I don't even know like what Endgame would be or whatever. But yeah, so I do love how that I've had the better score or the best score in 2 of these, and I'm definitely in last place by a mile. So
Well, we learned the first time all you need is one bad miss and you're done.
yeah, that's why now I'm trying to like really try to maximize.
John
this.
was the king of that. He'd be really good for 4 and then have one where you just get crushed.
yeah.
Off by like 50 points or something.
Yeah, it's like I'm guessing a 33 and it's a 91.
All right, what's the last movie?
So the last one is another film I haven't seen. I've just heard of it. I don't even know who's in it. Well,
It's a
I'm
good
not gonna
start.
look it up yet. It's the movie Due Date. I think that has Robert Downey Jr. in it.
Oh, and Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, those two, Zach Galifianakis, Robert. I've not seen it. Based on the fact that it's got those two, and it's I'm gonna just randomly guess a 54.
So I didn't see the movie, but I've seen like chunks of it in places. I don't really know why, like if it was on an airplane or something, but I just remember like those two had to like drive cross country to get to Robert Downey Jr.'s like the birth of his kid or something. And Zach Galifianakis basically played Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover.
That's all he does at all.
Yeah. And so basically they were like, at odds the whole movie. So it's like that kind of movie, but I seem to remember it being like not terrible. What did you guess?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. I guess
Just
it's my
guessed
turn
on
to go
where
first.
these movies usually end up with that kind of premise. I'm going 54. I don't know.
Well, I got to go big. And I see the bits that I've seen, I seem to remember it being like pretty decent. And there was like a couple, like there was like, I feel like there was a heartfelt moment or two. I got to go big. So I got to say like an 84 and just pray that this movie was a critical darling. I know it's not going to be, but I got to do it. That's what I have to do.
Filch says 54. Finkleman says 84 for Due Date. I know you guys are talking about the movie. I still have no clue about this movie other than Zach Galifianakis and whatever you say his name is. And
Close enough.
yeah. So I know it's not in the 90s, right? It's not a 90s type of movie for a score.
Probably. I mean, honestly, if I was giving a real score, I would not have given an 84, but yeah. So,
I'm going to go 71.
okay. He's splitting the difference.
Okay. I had a feeling he was going to do that.
It's going to be at
Let's
27.
see. Gosh, how many Todd Phillips movies is Juliette Lewis in? Holy cow. Due Date is Rotten with a score of 39.
I went the wrong way. There was a couple of scenes that were decent, man. I'm telling you. Well, I had to go big. I think that puts me over 100.
Yeah.
I'm certified rotten.
Dang.
That's brutal. Well, nobody hit one head on. That's too bad. See, this is when in the show we would go to a commercial break for like 5.5 minutes and then come back and have literally 38 seconds to wrap the show, give the scores, premiere or promo the next show. Shockingly, it didn't work out super well. Oh yeah, hey, welcome back to the rundown. Mike Pilch is the winner. He has 22 points, and up next is Drew Olson. Okay, goodbye.
Yep.
Usually how it worked out.
Yep.
Okay. Have you been doing the math, Pilch?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. Let me just finish my. I mean, it's no surprise who won.
Yeah. Pilch, run some algorithms on this for us, okay?
All right.
What?
So
Okay.
coming in butt naked last with a score of 121.
John Arias. Dang it.
John Arias second, but he broke 100 like his golf game. He's at 98. And then I won with a score of 57.
If I had actually just gone the other direction and picked a bad score, I would have beat John like easily.
Yeah, that last one you lost 45 points on.
I had to go big. You knew I had to do it. I mean, I had to get lucky that it was one way or the other and nail it on the head.
Really, the one that put you behind was the first one, Road Trip.
Yeah,
You were
I
just
figured that
finding up the
movie.
battle.
I'm sorry, but 57 for that movie that's outrageous. I'm just trying to think of Siskel and Ebert being like, let me tell you about the performance here from Stifler. All right. He's really graduated from playing Stifler to playing Stifler. So I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. I don't understand.
That was fun. I like that.
Here's the thing, though. You say Stifler, and everyone knows who you're talking about.
That's true.
What's his real name?
John William Scott. I mean, he's got to be worth 20-30 million.
Hey, he was good in Goon. All right.
I was going to say he's
freaking
actually
good.
not bad. It's just the characters he plays, but he's really not bad.
Goon was, if you haven't seen Goon, I'm guessing that's not a
Hockey?
movie that John's seen.
No.
Yeah, Pilch has seen it. I know. But yeah, he's like an enforcer in the minor leagues, and it's brutal, but it's a really good watch. It's a good time. So,
well, according to the internet, I'm looking up Sean William Scott's net worth.
Oh, well, this is always 100% accurate. So
25 million.
25 million, Pilch.
I can see it.
Yeah, he's doing
You're
good.
saying. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that net worth. Probably should figure out what I want to do for my career next if I want to try to make some money. Unlike you guys.
Just get into playing college frat bros in movies. That's obviously the answer.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not as talented as Stifler. Well, guys, this was fun. This is the rundown. Drew Olson is up next. Who was with Drew at the time? It wasn't KB?
KB was there.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, are you guys noticing that we're finishing up at the exact same time that we would finish our show normally?
That's so awesome.
It's
I didn't
wild.
even realize we started at the
Did
same
not
time,
think
too.
of that.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got one more gift for the people watching at home.
No.
Yeah, that's a Hey Fellas, What's Up t-shirt.
That is awesome. Limited edition. There's only 50 of those available.
Yeah. And
If
Dr.
that.
J has one of them. So
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool. Mike Pilch, Joel Finkleman, guys. I think we should do another rundown in a movie game because I'm feeling like this podcast, people are going to love the movie game again once they hear it.
Well,
So,
hey, anytime that you can't get a hold of a guest that's much, much better than us, you just let us know. All right.
okay. So I'll talk to you guys again next week, probably.
Sounds good. Well, same time.
Just kidding. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for playing.
You
See ya.
got it.